All right, so today is day 2 of factoring a polynomial. So I can factor a polynomial. And the method that I'm going to teach you is by grouping. Okay? So let me see here. So we're going to factor x squared plus 8x plus 7. So the first thing we need to make sure we understand is our a, b, and our c. So look up here. We're factoring ax squared plus bx plus c. So our a is always the number that's attached to the x squared. B is always the coefficient attached to the x, and then c is hanging out there at the end. So when you write it in standard form, it will go in order. Okay, so I'm going to give you some steps for factoring. It's going to start out, it's going to seem a little complicated, but we will get through. So step 1, I'm going to write it over here in a different color. Identify A, B, and C. So looking at this here, I need to know my A is 1. My B here is attached to the X, which is 8. And our C is what's by itself, 7. So step 2 is to list factors of A times C. So I'm going to take whatever my A is and I'm going to multiply it. So A times C is 1 times 7. So I'm going to list the factors of 7. So that means what sets of numbers can you multiply together to get 7? Well, I can do 7 times 1, and that's it. Okay? So that's list the factors. Oops, my screen went away over here. Of A times C. Next, you're going to find the sum of the factors. That means what are they added together? Sum of each set of factors. So 7 and 1 is our only one, and when we add those together, 7 plus 1 equals 8. All right? So step 4, identify which factors of A times C add to get B. So we only have one set of factors, so that makes sense. Is it true that the factors of 7 and 1 add together to get 8, which is our B? Yes. So step 5, we're going to rewrite BX terms using factors from step 4. So what does that mean? So I'm going to rewrite this equation, x squared plus. Now instead of writing 8x, I'm going to write 8x in a way that uses both the factors. So it's going to be x squared plus 7x plus 1x, finish it out, plus 7. Okay, so is this the same as that? Are they equivalent? Yes, because if we combined like terms, we would get that. All right, I keep losing my... So then we're going to group these. I'm going to draw a line right down here. I want to split up each of these BX. So step 6 is to factor out GCF from each group. Okay, so here's group 1. We have one group over here and one group here. What is the GCF of x squared and 7x? Well, it's x. So I'm going to factor that out. I'm left with x plus 7. Now, what can I factor out of here? Well, I have a 1 and a 7. Okay, so I'm going to factor out a 1. Since 1 is positive here, I'm going to keep 1 positive here, and I'm left with x plus 7. All right, and our final step is to factor out the common group. So what that means is, so I pull out the common group. Each one of these has an x plus 7, so I bring an x plus 7 here. Now I take what's left over. I have an x and a positive 1, so it's going to become x plus 1. Now, how do you check your work on something like this? Well, if I was to FOIL this out, if I was to distribute that, I should get my original. All right, so we're going to try that several times. So first, over here, we have A equals 1, B equals -6, C equals 8. Identify A, B, and C, check. Lift the factors of A times C. Okay, first of all, A times C is equal to 8. Okay, my factors of those are 1 and 8, also 2 and 4. Okay, my B is -6. So which one of these can I make combinations of to get 6? Well, you can either add, is 1 and 8, whether I add, subtract, going to give me -6? No, but can I work it with 2 and 4? Yes. Okay, I know that -2 times -4 equals 8. There's our A times C. But -2 and a -4 will give me that B that I wanted, -6. So here we go. We're going to rewrite. So the factors are -2 and -4. So let's rewrite the BX using the factors from step 4. So we get x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 8. Now we're going to split these up. So here we go. What can I pull out of? I'm going to pull out the greatest common factor. What is the greatest common factor of x squared and 2x? Well, it's x. So I factor it out. I get x minus 2. Now, pay attention to this negative. When that term is negative, you have to pull it out of as a factor. Okay, so what number goes into both 4 and 8? Well, it's 2, but since this term is negative, I have to pull out -2. When I do that, I'm left with -4 divided by -2. No, sorry, what can I factor out here? -4, excuse me. 4 is the largest number that goes into both of those. I pull out a -4, so that leaves me with x minus 2. If you do this step correctly, you should have the same chunk here. So now we rewrite it. We factor out our x minus 2 that we got here, and then what's left over is an x and a -4. So my second set is x minus 4. If I was to FOIL this out, I should get this right here. All right. So let's do C over here. Okay, I'm going to skip this one so we can have some room, and we'll do example 2. All right, so A equals 1, B equals -11, and C equals 24. So what is A times C? 1 times 24 is 24. My B is -11. So let's list out all of the factors of 24. Well, we have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Which one of these can I make a combination of to get a -11? Well, I know I want a -11. 1 and 24, I can't do 1 minus 24, no. 2 minus 12, no. 3 minus 8, no. But what happens if I make both of these negative? Okay, -3 and -8. This factor will work. So let's check it. -3 times -8 is +24, which is what I want. but negative 3 plus negative 8 equals negative 11, which is what I want there. So we write it out, x squared. Now I'm going to rewrite this negative 11x using these. So minus 3x minus 8x plus 24. I'm going to split this here. These are my groups. I'm going to factor out, what can I factor out of x squared minus 3x? We get an x, which leaves us with x minus 3. Now, again, this is negative, so I know I'm going to have to factor out something negative. What is the largest number that goes into both 8 and 24? Well, that's 8, which leaves us with x. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. And I got what I wanted because these two match. So I have x minus 3. I have a leftover. I've factored out x and negative 8. So I get x minus 8. This is my final answer. All right, I recommend pausing and trying this. I know this is a lot of steps, but keep this set handy so that you can follow. So A here is 1, B equals negative 14, C equals negative 32. AC equals negative 32. Okay, so I'm listing out the factors of this here. I know I can go with 1 and 32, 2 and 16, 4 and 8. I think that's it. Now I know one of these, since this is negative, okay, I know one of these is going to be negative. So what combination can I use one negative and get negative 14? Well, 2 minus 16 is negative 14. So I know that those are going to be my factors. So let's try it. Is 2 times negative 16 equal to negative 32? Yes. Is 2 plus negative 16 equal to negative 14? Yes. So those are my terms. X squared plus 2x minus 16x minus 32. I'm rewriting that using these two terms. Check. Is 2x minus 16x our b here? Yes. So we split it down the middle. I can pull an x out of x squared and 2x, leaving me with x plus 2. Okay, now here, since this is negative, I have to pull out a negative. Negative, what's the biggest number that goes into both 16 and 32? Well, that's 16, which leaves me to x plus 2. Check, these should be the same thing. I'm going to factor those out. Okay. So when I factor them out, I get x plus 2, and then what's left over? X minus 16. All right, again, I know that's a lot, guys. You can do it. We're going to spend many days on this, so please don't try and do all of these in one day. We will get there, okay?